Good evening everyone. So today we are going to see the next topic, that is about high power amplifiers. High power amplifiers makes you to know about how the signal is being amplified. The name indicates you clearly that we are going to amplify the signal in the required manner of the signal strength power value and also the signal amplification amplitude to make the signal to transmit to the satellite through wireless electromagnetic radiation, that is in terms of a wave. So definitely we have to go for a high power amplifiers near the earth station where it is able to convert the signal to a larger amplitude values and it is transmitted. So the most common types of amplifiers that we are using here is TWT. One we are using traveling wave tube. The second one is called as klystron. TWT and klystron. TWT is nothing but traveling wave tube amplifier, where this has been operating with a bandwidth of 500 MHz and the power that is provided to operate this is given in terms of 10 kilowatt. That is one amplifier. The second one is your klystron's amplifier. So we have the device typically to operate in the bandwidth of 40 MHz over a time of tunable to 500 MHz. So the previous case of your TWT is it is operated at 500 MHz and klystron is operating between the range of 40 MHz to 500 MHz with a maximum power of 3 kilowatt. Okay, so these high power amplifiers are designed in terms of two ways. So the high power amplifiers are designed in terms of two ways. So one is called as single stage high power amplifier. The second one is called as multi-stage high power amplifiers. So these amplifiers are being shown below in terms of a diagram. We are going to see those and we will give a clear explanation about the single stage power amplifiers and multi-stage power amplifiers. You can see clearly here it is being shown that this is your single stage power amplifier. The single stage is nothing but where n number of signals are transmitting. You can see clearly you have a combiner with a switch operation and it is having a high power amplifier which are there and it is feeding the signal to the other side of the system. So this is one single stage power amplifier. So the combiner is nothing but here we receive n number of multiple signals of the information which are combined and they are given as a single signal to the high power amplifier. Okay, to the high power amplifier it is given. So the high power amplifier will take the signals. So as there is a switch operation here which has been shown, it will vary in terms of the high power amplifier to switch either one of the high power amplifier to operate in order to do the operation of amplification of the signals as per the variable resistance which is operating. That is, so when we are switching to one power amplifier, it will feed the signals to the system which we have and same time it will also send the variable resistance operating where it will mutually fluctuate in terms of the signals to send as per the variable resistance that we have, and it will be matching those terminators in such a way that any one amplifier is operated. Okay, the variable resistance, which is nothing but the hyper amplifier is operated with one resistance value, that is switching operation. So if the resistance of one value, this first one is operating, then obviously it will operate with one resistance. At that time this amplifier will operate and it will transmit the signals. Otherwise it will switch to this power amplifier and this will operate and it will send the signals. Same time this variable resistance will be operating to switch either any one high power amplifier. So that is your single stage high power amplifier. The same thing in terms of the second diagram, which is shown clearly here, which is called as multi-stage high power amplifier. So the multi-stage high power amplifier nothing but it is the relevant of the single stage power amplifier, where the same figure continues n number of times. Here the same single stage figure will continue n number of times and it will do the multiple stage operation. What does it indicate is, one amplifier is operated for the information of the signals to give, another is operated for the wideband carrier signals to be given. So what does it indicate is, in the multi-stage power amplifier, the wideband carrier here, which we are showing clearly, you can see here you have a wideband carrier, which is nothing but RF carrier signal, which is given to the high power amplifier, and the combiner will operate to give the signals of the information to the power amplifier. So both the signals are combined and the final high power amplifier signal, that is very much high amplified signal, will be obtained as an output from the system to give to the next stage of the system. So this makes you to give this signal to the antennas. So it will be calculating the effective isotropic radiation pattern of the signals of the antenna which is operating to make your signal to uplink to the satellite. Okay, to make the uplink to the satellite. Same time you will have some types of losses which will be present between the antenna and the high power amplifier also. Don't forget this thing, because when the signals are transmitting, definitely when it is crossing stage by stage, there will have some variation in the signal strength, and also it causes some variation in the losses of the signal. So this losses makes you the gain of the signal to get reduced, but even then we have to make a sustainable gain to acquire, and that makes you the antenna to transmit this electromagnetic wave to the satellite. So that is the thing. So here we are having TWTA, traveling wave tube amplifiers. So these are achieving the amplification by modulating the control of flow, where these amplifiers are being made in terms of using gallium arsenide and field effect transistors. Okay, these are solid state power amplifiers. These are made with the help of using gallium arsenide and field effect transistors configured combining techniques. So the Crestron is operating with narrow band high power devices. Okay, so the main here, the principle of the parameter of the amplifier is that it will be looking after the output power, the gain, the linearity, what is the efficiency and the reliability. Everything is being considered. For the design of the high power amplifier is also most important thing here. We are looking after the gain, we are looking after the output power, we are looking after the linearity and the efficiency. Same time we will look after the size of the device also, and the cost of the factors is the most important thing in order to operate these high power amplifiers. Other than these amplifiers, we are having another one which is called as low noise amplifier. So these low noise amplifiers are nothing but these will add some little bit noise to the carrier signal when they are being amplified. Previous case, max of the time, that is previous case is nothing but high power amplifiers. The max of the time we will have the reduction in the noise of the signal near the carrier when we are doing amplification. In the low noise amplifiers we will have some little bit noise added to the carrier when it is being amplified, and it will do the same process of providing amplification, which will try to avoid the noise that is present, and it will design the receiver in such a way that the equivalent noise temperature is referred as the low noise amplifier input. So you can see clearly this is a multi-stage low noise amplifier which is shown here. So we have a rejecting filter, transmit rejecting filter, where we are getting RF input signal. So the RF input signal which is given to the filter, it will try to reject some noise that is present, and it will be sustainably sent to the next side of the block, which is shown here, where it is operated with minus 40 dB Celsius. So this is nothing but the temperature maintenance of the satellite to take the signals. So what are the common things of the low noise amplifier is that these are made with the help of field effect transistors, uncooled field effect transistors, which have the noise temperature between the range of 55 to 75 Kelvin for 4 kHz range and 200 Kelvin at 11 GHz range. Sorry, there is a small error, that is 55 to 75 Kelvin at 4 GHz range and 200 Kelvin at 11 GHz range. So the operating signals which are present near the 4 GHz range will make the amplifier to have the noise temperature relevantly at the margin of 55 to 75, which makes you a relevant operation of the signal. If it is 11 GHz range, it will show you 200 kelvins. That is the thing which we have here. So these low noise amplifiers are operated with the converters that we are having, that is block down converters. So these converters will help you to do the operation on the signals which we want to transmit with the help of the amplifiers that we have here, operational amplifiers which are operating, and these will convert the signals once again at the low down converter which we can have here, and we can regenerate the signal in terms of RF output. So what is the input signal that is generated is given as an output to the RF output to the receiver side. Don't forget, the RF input signal which is given, the same RF output signal is been received at the receiver side. This is your transmitter session which I am saying, this is your receiver session which you are getting the signal. So this is the thing which is happening here. So what are the types of tracking systems that we have in the earth station? Earth station tracking system. So the earth station tracking systems are categorized in terms of 4 types. One is called as satellite acquisition, second one is your automatic tracking, third one is your manual tracking, fourth one is your program tracking. Okay, we have the 4 types of tracking systems. In that, satellite acquisition is nothing but, this is the method to program the antenna to perform a scan of prediction of the signals of the position of the satellite. Okay, the automated tracking is switched on when the receiver signal strength is sufficient to log the tracking receiver. What does it indicate is, it will program to search the nearest satellite that is present to the antenna of your earth station. Okay, to the antenna of your earth station, and it will, after having the tracking with the satellite, it will make the automatic switching operation, and it will receive the signal strength sufficient, then only it will take the signals from the receiver. That is first one. Automatic tracking is nothing but, it is relevantly a closed loop where it will continuously monitor, where it is a continuously monitoring of the satellites what are near to the earth station. Okay, it is continuously monitoring what are the satellites which are near to the earth station. It is a closed loop and is very much highly accurate. Okay, that is the second one. When you go for your third one that we have, that is your manual track, it will avoid the total loss of the communication due to the failure. It will avoid, okay, in order to avoid the total loss of communication due to the failure, the earth station generally have the manual mode. What does indicate is, we will only identify which is the nearest satellite, and we will manually give the instruction to connect to that satellite, and give the signals. Okay, give the signals to the earth station. Do you understand? We are asking that in the manual track in that manner. In the program track, which is nothing but it is a computerized programming in order to simplify the prediction of the position of the satellite, and it will be tracking the system and it will predict the data accuracy automatically. It will predict the data accuracy automatically. So these are the 4 types of tracking systems that we have. The same thing is shown in terms of a block diagram by processing some block diagram. The block diagram is nothing but this is your satellite which is shown. We have an antenna driven, servo amplifier, antenna control system, auto track receiver, antenna feed system. So there are some names that are positioned here: program track data, manual track data. So antenna control system is nothing but if you want to connect manually to the satellite, then we have to give the control from the control system of antenna. Or if you want to track any programming manner of the satellite with the position, then we have to give a control from the control system. So then the servo motor, servo amplifier will operate to send these signals. Meanwhile, it will do some types of corrections if we require. The corrections are nothing but the prediction corrections which are already stored in the system. Corrections are nothing but the predictions that are already stored in the tracking system. In this tracking system, we will already store the predicted information and we will give manual information. So it will identify whether they are same, and then otherwise it will correct and it will give for amplification, and it will drive the signals from the antenna to the antenna feed system. So it will drive the signals from the antenna to the antenna feed system. From there it is given to the auto track receiver, which is nothing but estimated signals. So the measured position says you that whether it has tracked the satellite and the received signals are being obtained, then it will go to the control system. If you have any error, we will go for the receiver. Otherwise it will identify the position and it will go to the control system. If you don't have any error, if you have error, it will go for auto track receivers. What does it indicate is, the error indicates you that you have not given the exact positions of manual tracking or program tracking. If you are not given manual or program tracking exact positions, then it will take automatically the receiver positions, automatic tracking system, and those positions are being considered and it will send the signals from the satellite. So this is the thing of tracking system of main elements that we have, and those are being explained here. And the main auto track system is commonly used in terms of tracking of 3 types. One is called as conical scan, second one is called as monoplus, third one is called as step track. Conical scan is nothing but, I will show you the figure. Once see this figure clearly. The figure is nothing but it is a device which is called as radar, radio detection and ranging, which is consisting of an antenna. So when the electromagnetic signals are transmitting, it will be generated in terms of an antenna beam. It is called as a radiation pattern. It is called as a radiation pattern which we get for the signals that are transmitted to the satellite. So it will see the axis in terms of beam axis, squint angle, rotation axis. Okay, squint angle is nothing but variation of the signal margin value. Squint angle is the variation of the signal margin value. The middle line which we are showing you is the target axis. So target is your satellite. Okay, the target is your satellite. So this here we have the satellite. Okay, so that is your target, and it will be operated to scan the signals, and those auto track receiver will send the maximum gain with the antenna. With the maximum gain of antenna, it will send the signals and it will receive the signals also. Okay, so that is your conical scan. When you go for the monopulse scan, which is nothing but it will do the operation of summation and subtraction of the signals in terms of amplitude comparison and phase comparison. Two signals that we are transmitting, and it will do the amplitude comparison and the phase comparison, and it will come to a conclusion about which is the good stability difference pattern, and that will be sent. Step tracking system is nothing but it will be depending upon the amplitude of the signal. It will be analyzing the amplitude sensing, and it will come to a conclusion what is the accuracy of the amplitude, that is depending upon the step size and signal to noise ratio value. It depends upon the signal to noise ratio and step size, and it will send the signals. So these are the some recent tracking systems that we are following, okay, that we have. So in the next class we will see about this terrestrial interference which we have, okay. We'll see about this terrestrial interference in the next class. Thank you.